Some things are not always what they appear to be. Now, you would congressman and former veteran would not find themselves on Republican Congressman Cory Mills, who is alleged to owe $85,000 in luxury penthouse in Washington. As I mentioned, that Republican Congressman Cory Mills owes $85,000 in back rent, luxury penthouse in Washington, D.C. So without further delay, truth is stranger and fiction story. Cory Mills, as you can see on the thumbnail, D.C. Republican Congressman, and as I mentioned, is facing eviction from a luxury penthouse in D.C. Before we get into that, though, let's look into Cory Mills. Cory Mills, major reports research. Cory Mills, an American Army combat veteran. Thank you for your service, Congressman. And Republican politician who has served in the United States representative for Florida's 7th Congressional District. According to reports, he has a strong background in combat deployment and national defense. Cory Mills, from Florida State College at Jacksonville, served in the United States Army from 1999 to 2003 as a combat veteran with active military service in several areas, including Iraq, Afghanistan, and Kosovo. He received a Bronze Star as a sniper during deployment in Iraq in 2003. So those accolades are extremely honorable and nothing to prove about However, unfortunately, the problem is, and again, I've said this so many times, just because certain people have extremely impressive resume, they don't have problems. Many people have problems. Now, some problems are different than others. However, problems are problems. So let's begin with the filing of this case. Landlord-tenant court in Washington, D.C. And for those of you who are interested, that's just a little bit of background as to what's being alleged. Now, I know some of you are probably shaking your heads and think that I have lost it. No, as a matter of fact, I haven't. Now, with his salary in business ventures, his net worth is a pretty penny, but it's also a pretty penny. So, his landlord, the Bozzuto Company. The Bozzuto Company is a very, very reputable property management company, and for $85,000 in rent dating back to March 2025. As a side note, he has been summoned to appear virtually, looking at Washington, D.C. in an eviction lawsuit with a D.C. landlord. Now, I know a lot of people have been talking about late bills and evictions and things of that nature. The reality is, ladies and gentlemen, while some people may poke fun at others, that's really not a funny thing. Not a funny thing at all to be threatened with losing your home, and then people who have been listening to me as Dr. Newsom and I get together every Sunday, they hear my, and back before I got my own place, I decided to move in with a girlfriend. We'll talk about that. Of course, we're the same age, but she was/is the type who must keep up with the Joneses. None of her clothing, none of it does not come without the designer tag. And again, if that is your lifestyle, and that, but there are some people that is what she did way back in the day when we were roommates. I learned a valuable lesson, and that it's not always live with classmates or who you deem as best friends because issues come up. Now, I didn't think too much of it, and I remember coming home and going through the neighborhood, saw a little white truck, and they had furniture. That's good taste because for my room, from Pier 1. Now, Pier 1 is no longer in business, but they had excellent quality furniture, and I paid a good furniture. My girlfriend, who I grew up with since unbeknownst to me, didn't pay the rent and was hiding the notices. So I was ass out. Anyone else meaningful with your own finances, but you also should be careful with whom you trust. If you trust that whoever you give your money to is going to pay it, you may want to follow up. But when you're young, you live and you learn. As we get older in life, things also happen. Illnesses, loss of jobs, the pandemic caused a lot of people to encounter problems. So this is no laughing matter. Some people may think something on the other lines as to, well, how in the world could someone with a net worth in the instance of a Republican from Florida get themselves in such a situation? Again, sometimes living beyond your means get you in a world of trouble. As I mentioned, the Pizzuto Management Company, very reputable, and they have very, very luxurious apartments and properties throughout the DC metropolitan area. And they formed the DC Superior Court against Cory Mills, which alleged that he had $85,000 in rent. Now, Roger Sollenberger, who first reported, so shout out to Roger Sollenberger, and I do hope I did not chop up your name. He reported this accusation, and as always, to be prudent and responsible, I must say this is an accusation, even though I just will filing first and what's being alleged by the landlord. Those are not doctored, ladies and gentlemen. Those are actual entries. So for anyone who questions it, you don't have to question me. I never put up anything that I haven't verified. So the funny thing is that Cory Mills' response was he was displayed a ledger. Actually, Roger Sullenberger is on X. And for those of you who are interested, you can look at the ledger, yourself. And it shows in black and white that he paid late nearly every month since moving in. The suit claims Cory Mills owes rent from March to July. Another notice was sent to him at the start of the year. The property manager of the building paid $18,229.05 in rent by February 20th. It's not the first allegation in D.C. against Republican representative who in February, again, this is February investigation, he reported arrest. Again, I cannot attest to that little nugget as far as the arrest was concerned, but what I can say is it looks allegations that at present, and that can change, care how much money I made. I don't think, and again, everyone is different, that I could see myself paying almost $20,000 for a penthouse. Now, if there were ownership, you know what? I still wouldn't pay that much a month. That's just me. In summary, Florida Congressman Cory Mills allegedly is facing eviction from a luxury DC penthouse that he owes $85,000 in rent. Again, as always, implore you to conduct your own. The September hearing, I would hope, but we shall see. And that just goes to show you, ladies and gentlemen, even regular people who think no one else may have struggles, this story right here should change your mind. As I said, certain people, and I guess I'm happy Tuesday. praying everyone is enjoying themselves because it's a new day. So give yourself. Thank you for tuning in. And if you like this video and any other videos, please let me know by leaving comments. I truly appreciate you. And if you're new to the channel, and you peep in, consider subscribing.